everyone, this is PamelaTopjian, and today I'm going to talk about chakras and the chakra system. And this is just a basic 101 basic explanation of the seven main chakras of the body. So there are other chakras. There's chakras for the globe, for the world. There's chakras in your animals, in your pets, and there's more than seven. But mostly when people are talking about chakras, they're talking about the main seven within the body. So I got a request to talk a little bit about what chakras are for somebody who maybe never heard about them. And I'm glad to do that today. So thank you for the request. If you have any topic that you would like me to discuss on here, please let me know. I'm happy to take that suggestion. I think that I have a guided visualization for balancing your chakras. I'm going to check, and if I do, that link will be in the description below. So check that out if you're interested in that. So the seven main chakras are really energy centers within your body, and they each center corresponds with different physical and emotional and even spiritual aspects of your body, of your whole being, actually. So the word chakra is an East Indian Sanskrit word that means spinning wheel or disc. And you can think of it like something that lights up with a color. As it spins, it builds up energy and it gets brighter and brighter. So that's how I like to think about it when I think about the chakras in my body. That corresponds with the life flow energy, like your chi and your spiritual and energetic power within your subtle body, your energy body of your consciousness and your spiritual being. So if they're out of alignment, if they're not clear, if they're not balanced, you will have some issues. So the base chakra is also known as the root chakra, and it's symbolized by the color red at the base of your spine. And it is really all about grounding, feeling safe, feeling secure, being financially stable, being stable in your environment as far as where you live, financial security, stability, feeling safe in your dwelling and in your workspace and in your life, feeling grounded. So that's what the base or root chakra is all about. If that chakra is not balanced, or if it's like muddy and unclear, then you may have some fear or anxiety or instability in your life. We've all been there at times in our life where we just feel like we're scattered and we're definitely not grounded. So that's a real good indication that your base chakra or your root chakra needs balancing or clearing. So different ways that you can do that is carry a red stone with you. So there's red jasper. I had just given one to a friend that was having some anxiety. This is another little one that I have. Even black obsidian. I'm not real knowledgeable on my crystals and my stones, but some of them I know. Having a red stone, a red sort of gem, wearing red clothing, doing things that are, down to earth. So taking a walk in nature, gardening is real good for grounding, walking barefoot, sitting or even laying in the grass or in a meadow or a field or somewhere outside. All of that is great for balancing your base chakra. So the next one is your sacral chakra, and that is just below your belly button. And that one is represented with the color orange. And it's your creativity, it's your emotions, it can be part of your sexuality. So things that move that area, so like belly dancing or even any kind of like a hula dance, anything that you're really moving those hips around is really going to be good for that chakra area. And to balance your creativity, your sexuality, your self-expression. Also, with any of these, wearing clothing that corresponds with the color of the chakra is going to help to balance that out. Also, doing things that are creative. So that writing project, that art project, Anything that's creative, if you are stalling that, if you are afraid to start, or you have started and you can't get through, you feel like you have a block, that might be the area. So I would suggest moving your hips, doing something to move your hips around. Also wearing orange. So then the next one is your solar plexus chakra. That's right in the middle of the core of your torso, like above your belly button, just probably the bottom of the rib cage, and that is represented by the color yellow. And you can think of that as like the sun shining, like that is where you stand in your light, where your personal power, your confidence, all of that stems from that area. So if you feel like you're lacking confidence, if you feel like you cannot stand up for yourself, those are some things that show that it might be blocked. So that's a time to work on self-esteem, working on self-confidence. And again, wearing yellow, any kind of yellow stone or gem or jewel of some sort, time in the sun. Those are some things that might help to clear that center. Then the next one is your heart chakra. And that, of course, is up by your heart space. And that is represented by the color green. Sometimes it's also represented by the color pink. Or I have also seen green with like a pink glow. So that's really interesting. So there are some stones. Of course, jade is green. This is another shade of jasper. They come in different colors, I believe. But carrying a stone or a gem or a jewel or a crystal that is the color green will help with your heart chakra. So this is where compassion, this is where unconditional love. If it's out of balance, you might have issues in your relationships. You might feel lonely or feel grief. You might have an inability to trust others in relationships. And when I say relationships, I'm not just talking about romantic relationships, just any relationships. So focusing on your heart chakra and just extending love out, extending that green light or that pink light out towards those that you love, out towards anybody that may need some extra kindness. So having compassion, having kindness, having empathy, all of those things stem from your heart chakra. The next one is your throat chakra. Of course, your throat, right? That's represented by the color blue. And this is a tiny little stone. I just happen to have these in front of me on my desk, so I didn't plan to show you the crystals or the stones, but I have a few here, so I should have looked into that more maybe, but it's really easy to look up if you look up what crystals or stones are associated with what chakras, and you'll just get your answer. So that's easy to figure out and easy to find. But your throat chakra, so obviously it has to do with communication, effective communication. If you are afraid to speak in public, or if you don't stand in your truth, if you're afraid to speak up for what you believe in, those kinds of things might show that you have some blockage, or it might just be like, again, I said like muddy, or just need some balancing or clearing in your throat chakra. Of course, a way to do that is, besides the stone and besides wearing a blue scarf or necklace, anything blue, even your clothing. Besides doing that, you can also sing out loud, read out loud, anything that you're going to be using your voice for that will help to clear out your throat chakra. So a lot of times people who have chronic respiratory issues or chronic just like vocal cord issues, a lot of times they're not able to speak up for themselves, or they feel like they've been stifled and shut down, their voice has been shut down, and they have a hard time now speaking up. So that is an indication that you might need to balance or clear your throat chakra. So then we've got your third eye, which is the sixth one. Obviously, so many of us have heard of the third eye. Maybe you haven't, but it's an area right between your eyebrows or up by your forehead there. And that is where your intuition, your insight, your inner wisdom comes from. And this is represented by the color of indigo. This is like a deep purple kind of a color as well. And like I said, so this is where your inner wisdom, your insight, your intuition, and if you're balanced, you're thinking clearly, you have spiritual insight, you have a good spiritual practice. So meditation obviously really helps that. Meditation, focusing on that area, even doing some intuitive practices or doing some intuitive exercises can also help that. If it's blocked, you might feel confusion, you might feel sort of lost in your life, disconnected from yourself, lost within yourself. That's some things that might show up if it's not balanced or not clear. So then the last one is your crown chakra. So that's on the top of your head. That's, right where a crown would be. So that is also like a violet color. So this is your spiritual connection. It is similar to the third eye chakra, except it's not necessarily going within or your intuition. It's more about more of the connection, feeling that spiritual connection, that enlightenment, that awakening, feeling that with the all of the universe, that unconditional universal energy, knowing that you are a part of it and that it is a part of you, having that connection, that divine connection. That's what the crown chakra is all about. So again, meditation works well for that, and visualization for all of these. Just visualizing even just the color and the area on your body, just visualizing that spinning and getting clearer, glowing brighter and brighter for the color, and then moving up your body for the next one, and then the next one, and the next one. So that can be very helpful. Or when you are in the shower, as the water is coming down, you can visualize that the water is going through your chakra system, through your energy body, and clearing it as it goes over you. Just imagine or visualize the water clearing those chakra spaces as well. So that's something you can do. So yeah, I hope that that has helped. Just a real brief summary. You have your base chakra at the base of your spine. You've got your sacral chakra just under your belly button. You've got your solar plexus chakra in the middle of your torso. Of course, your heart chakra, your throat chakra, third eye, and crown. So I hope that I didn't babble on too much. I hope that I didn't get off track. Just your basic 101, what the chakras are about, just your energy systems in your body. And I will look for the other guided visualization that I have on the chakras. I'll link that below. So thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate getting suggestions and on topics to talk about here. Yeah, thanks.